go. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Masters Fantasy Show, brought to you by MastersFantasyFootballLeagues.com. My name is Jonathan. I'm your host and the commish here at Masters Fantasy Leagues. Joined today by a good friend of mine, a podcast specialist. What's up, Dynasty Owl? How you doing?
Doing great. How you doing, JK?
Real good. I'm getting ready to turn the page on week 7, looking ahead at week 8. Already halfway through the fantasy season, pretty much. Going by pretty quick, man.
Yeah, it always does.
It does. But hey, man, I'm doing really good in my leagues. Hopefully you are too.
Yeah.
I got a couple, man, where I've grouped my losses together. I got like 2 0-7 teams.
Yeah.
Which I've never had before.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, man, all my other teams are stacking up W's.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, I'd love to see that.
All right. Well, today's episode, we're going to be talking about week 8, the quarterback waiver wire, taking a look ahead at some guys you can pick up this week, help you out during the bye weeks. Right before we jump into it, though, just wanted to pass along, some of the quarterbacks that we've been talking about the last couple weeks still on the waiver wire. So you might want to go back and check out the last 2 weeks. But we got a couple new guys for you. Kick it over to you to Dynasty Owl. Who's the first quarterback you're looking at on your waiver wire?
Sure. Yeah, so my guy just played last night in a pouring down rain, Sunday Night Football for anyone who watched. That's Carson Wentz. So obviously, we all know Carson Wentz's story. Looked like the MVP of the league for some time, when he was younger. The injury bug got him, and then, off to Indianapolis he goes. But just looking at this year, diving into the numbers, only 1 week he's been below 17 points. And that was one dud week with 7 points. But even with that, he's averaging over 17 points a game. It's got him at like quarterback 17. So really like a mid-range quarterback 2 right now. But if you take out that 1 7-point week, he's easily averaging about 20 a game, putting him in the top 12 quarterback conversation. So for the most part, he's been a QB1 almost every week. And the schedule really looks pretty good going forward. Just pulled out of it. Let me find it again. So he does have one tough game in a couple weeks. That's against Tennessee, which is where that 7-point game came the first time they matched up. So maybe you want to stay away from that week. But then looking at the other games coming up. So Tennessee's this week. Then he's got the Jets. Then he's got Jacksonville. So those are 2 really good looking matchups.
Yeah, I like those.
Then he's got Buffalo and Tampa. Obviously, Tampa's got a nice D, but those are games that could become shootouts. And obviously, when points are being scored, we like having quarterbacks. So aside from that Tennessee game, I really like, his next handful of games. He's got Houston after that. So really, I feel like, 3 or 4 out of his next 5 games are really strong matchups. And even without the strong matchups, like I said, he's putting up quarterback 1 type numbers. The weaponry in Indianapolis is kind of coming along. Michael Pittman looked good last night. He's coming along. So I'm all for it. I think, this is kind of the resurgence of Carson Wentz. And yeah, he's available in most redraft leagues right now. So I think now's the time to grab him and help him bring you to the playoffs.
Yeah, I really like to take. I'll be honest with you. I'm a little shocked to hear his numbers that high. That basically makes him a fringe starter in every league right now.
Yeah.
And I actually don't think that Colts offense, we haven't seen the best version of what they can be yet. I'm with you. I'm actually a really big fan of Pittman. He's a guy I love in dynasty leagues right now. And I think getting a healthy T.Y. Hilton back, had that one little week, looked pretty good. I think both of them on the field together. That obviously helps Carson Wentz. Jonathan Taylor's looking like the back that we all thought he could be.
Yeah.
So I actually think the best version of that offense is yet to come still. So that excites me about Carson Wentz too. I think it's a great take.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, I'm going to kick over to mine here. A guy that I'm really high on dynasty leagues. I'm just going to add, I think he is a dynasty buy low target, kind of, as of right now. In redraft leagues, I took a look before the show started. He's about 50% owned, coming off a bye week. I think that's mostly the reason why. It's going to be Trevor Lawrence, man. I think coming into this week, he's got a really great matchup with Seattle, 27th against the pass. But not only that, man, I think Trevor Lawrence is coming into his own. Last week, second game, over 300 yards. He's looked better. He's spreading the ball around. got their first W against Miami.
Yeah.
I know that had to be a good feeling for them. Here's a guy that hasn't lost a football game, maybe ever. I'm not sure if anybody's checked his Pee Wee League records. So I know that had to feel good for him. I think that's going to build some confidence in that offense. Something else that I noticed, I think a really big stat that I actually haven't heard anybody talking about, but I'm going to bring it up today. I'm not sure if you remember a couple weeks ago, him and Urban Meyer had that little spat on Twitter. Where Urban
said he wasn't comfortable
yet running the ball.
Right.
Trevor Lawrence responded. While I was looking today, 2 out of the last 3 games now, he now has a rushing touchdown. 3 out of the last 4 games, he's had the most rushing attempts that he's had since the season started. I do think that's something we're going to see a lot more out of Trevor Lawrence in the coming weeks. So for me, I think Trevor Lawrence not only is a guy that you can pick up as a bye week filler, there's some non-mobile quarterbacks out there that I'd actually take him over, like when I'm playing the matchups. I think maybe Trevor Lawrence against a Matt Ryan,
Kirk Cousins type. Yeah.
A lot of guys like that. I think I'd be looking at Lawrence surprisingly in the second half of the season. So
yeah, and so you bring him up, maybe pull up his numbers, and week 2 and week 3, those were his dud weeks that really pulled down his average and is making him look like not a high performer right now. But look, week 1 he scored about 19 fantasy points. Then weeks 4, 5, and 6, I mean, he's averaging like over 17 points a game during that time. So again, that puts him right in like that low end QB1, high end QB2 conversation on any given week. And I think you bringing up the rushing upside is a great point as well. Because I mean, if he gets that running game going, keeps finding the end zone, those are valuable points from the quarterback position that we see all the time. So I love the take, and I think it anytime you can buy low like this on a rookie quarterback who had a little bit of early season troubles is a great opportunity, because I mean, you can't fault a quarterback for struggling in weeks 2 and week 3 of their rookie season. Like, give me a break. So yeah, I like that a lot, and I'm picking him up where he's available.
Yeah, me too. And just sitting here thinking about Urban Meyer saying that. Not often do we hear a coach encouraging his quarterback to run more.
Right.
It's usually the opposite. So, like I said, I'm looking forward to a few more Trevor Lawrence runs into the end zone. I think we're going to see it this season. And I predict the second half of the season, he will be a top 12 quarterback. Obviously, Jacksonville going to be playing from behind quite a bit. I think Trevor Lawrence, he's going to be slinging it out, man.
Yeah, I like it.
All right. And then one last guy I'm going to touch on.
Yeah.
I think this is more like a super flex guy almost. Maybe a guy that you could use for bye week fillers. Tyrod Taylor, guy not owned at all. Looks like he's going to be practicing this week. The coach came out and said it's going to be his job when he's healthy and ready to go. I actually looked up, man. He's got some really juicy matchups on the schedule. And like I said, I don't think he's worth a pickup in redraft just yet, but I do think in super flex, if you're hurting for a second quarterback, need a guy that can also get you some rushing yards, go take a look at Tyrod Taylor. She'll be back this week.
Yeah, he was playing well against Cleveland until he pulled that hamstring.
He was. Both week 1 and 2 looked pretty good. I also think it'll be great news for you Brandon Cooks owners too. So.
Yeah, big time.
All right. Any other quarterbacks you wanted to add?
I think we've kind of talked about them all, but yeah, I like that Tyrod Taylor. Well, I guess on the Tyrod Taylor talk, let's talk about Deshaun Watson real quick. The trade rumors are heating up. Still no discipline been handed down by the NFL. So, I mean, where he's available, why not pick him up just in case, he gets traded and is going to play the rest of the year. So Miami, Carolina, Philly, they've all been thrown out as, possible landing spots. Miami is the kind of the one with the most traction, but yeah. So Deshaun Watson, Tyrod Taylor, a couple of deep flyers at the quarterback position.
Yeah. I mean, if he gets traded and he gets to play this year, look out. I mean, honestly, probably be my quarterback 1. You'd have to consider him. I mean, the dude's going to come back with a chip on his shoulder. It's going to be fun to watch. But we'll see how that turns out. He was actually a guy I've been thinking of quite a bit too. So, all right, good stuff. That's going to wrap up this edition. As always, thanks so much for watching, guys. If you could hit the like and subscribe button, love for you to come be a part of the Masters family. Any last words, Dynasty Owl?
Thanks for listening.
Thanks, guys.